In almost every video I do of these Rawrs, I say that they are not street legal and I take them off-road and I go to motocross facilities and trails, but today we're doing something different. I'm putting street tires on it, and then we're gonna go to a kart track, do a little mini moto day as a mini Supermoto with the Mantis Mini R on street tires. So obviously I do all kinds of riding. I've got street bikes, I've got dirt bikes, and I've even got a Supermoto. I bought this bike about 2 years ago so I could go and do a mini moto day. Mini moto meaning it's a 250cc bike. It's not nearly as fast as my full-size street bikes. Tops out about 80 miles an hour, but it's a blast on a kart track. And now I want to do that on the Rawrr Mini. I found these Michelin Street tires. They're a 14-inch tire with somewhat of an aggressive tread. So most street bikes will have a front tire and rear tire that's the same size. This is a 17 and a 17. This is a 17 and a 17. So on the Mini R, in its current setup, this isn't the R17, I've got a 14-inch front wheel and a 12-inch rear wheel. I'm going to change that up, and I'm going to put a 14-inch rear wheel off of the R17 on this. So I've got a 14 and 14. That should be the perfect setup for a mini moto day. I did a short a while back where I did the 14-14 setup. I thought it was the coolest thing ever because it makes it a nice balanced look. It's not a common size and it's not the way you can buy it from Rawrr, but it allows me to get tires that are the same type. This is the Michelin Street 2 in a 14-inch tread. I've got a 70-90-14 and a 90-90-14 for the rear. First thing we got to do is pull the old tires off, put the new tires on. So these are obviously tubed tires. The tires that I'm putting on are tubeless or tubed, it's fine. Got to make sure you run the tube on these because these rims are not set up to be tubeless. If you don't have the tools to do this, you don't need a stand like this, but you do need tire spoons and some basic mechanic tools. If you don't have that, you could always take this to a tire shop. Places like Cycle Gear, different motorcycle dealerships will change the tires for you. There is obviously a fee associated with that, and I hate spending money. These tires have never even been used, so it's funny that I'm pulling them off. Michelin Pilot Street 2, 90-90-14. I always look to see if they're directional. This one should be, kind of. Really only matters with the tread when it's raining. A little bit of tire spray. Make sure when you do this you don't twist the tube around too. Don't want to pinch it, don't want to spin it. Gotta be careful, otherwise you'll be replacing the tube. Tubes aren't expensive, but they're a pain to replace because you gotta do this just if you get a small hole in it. I don't know if that's coming up on camera. I'm trying to show this and also finagle at the same time. It's hard to do. Alright, got the valve stem through. More tire spray. Oh man, I'm looking forward to this track day. Now that I see this tire on here, it's like, yeah, this is going to be so much fun. Let's do a bead lock. This prevents the bead from coming out. I use this on dirt bike tires all the time. Little bites, little bites. Try not to get the tube in there when you do this. You could run a rim protector if you really wanted to. Protect your rims from being scratched. That's the safer way to do it. Tires on. Sweet. That was easier than I expected. Throw the valve core back in, make sure I didn't pop the tube. We do want to make sure this valve stem is straight. So kind of wiggle the wheel around a little bit, get it straight. You don't want to tighten this down too much yet, but we got to at least throw some air in it. Set the bead in the tire. Let's get some air. Go pop, pop. Oop, didn't actually go pop, but I did see it seat. We are good to go. Sweet. I'm actually very surprised how easily that went on. Of course, now I've jinxed myself. And I'm going to run it at starting at probably 32. And I can mess with it throughout the day as I get to the track. Now we can tighten that down if we get the right size wrench. Back tire's done. Now that we've got this tire on, the next step is to pull the rear wheel off that's currently on the bike. We're going to have to adjust the axle so we've got the right chain tension. Throw that on there, put it up on a center stand and pull off the front wheel, swap out that tire. 19mm socket on the back axle. Big spacer goes on the axle side, or on the sprocket side. Little spacer goes on the rotor side. Look how little it is. It's so cute. Don't forget to put the spacers back in. Feel like there's a spacer missing. Yes, there is. Dang. Don't forget the little spacer. This goes between the rotor and the swing arm. I'm sorry, the caliper bracket and the swing arm. And throw the axle back in. Hopefully. Don't use a hammer on this because you don't want to damage any of the bearings. If you're hung up on that, it should be able to just slide through. Don't forget the axle spacer too. Before we tighten this down, we're going to adjust the chain. Let me show you what I mean. I don't know if they're all this way, but my Mini R came with a 64 tooth rear sprocket, and the 14-inch rear came with a 68 tooth sprocket. So this is a bigger sprocket, which means I need to actually pull the wheel forward to get the chain to fit, or swap sprockets. I might bring that one with me just in case I want to swap it at the track if this is not fast enough. That'll give me a higher top speed, but this will bring me out of the corners faster. So I'll bring them both, see what happens. Let's adjust that chain now. I am going to do a whole video on how to adjust the chains on these Rawrs, because that's a question that I see a lot of on my videos and then also just on social media too. So I will eventually do a video, hopefully in the next 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. If you've got a Rawr, a Mantis Mini R, Mini R17, an X, or an X Pro, subscribe to the channel. I got a lot of content coming on those bikes. I'm gonna do both sides. Obviously got to keep it even. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm taking this bolt that's holding the axle block. I'm putting the bolt further into the swing arm, which means the axle and the whole wheel can shift inward. I'll do more fine-tune adjusting once I get the chain on, make sure that the wheel is straight in the swing arm. Alright, I got it on the bottom, rotate it on, chain is on, cool. Now we got to look at the marks. There's little indicators on the swing arm. We got to make sure that they're even on both sides so that the wheel doesn't wobble. That tire looks sick, can't lie. It looks so meaty and just mean up there. That's so cool. I can't wait to see what it's going to look like with the front one on. So let's pull the front wheel off, swap the tire, throw it back on. Almost track time. The long spacer goes on the caliper side, short spacer goes on the other side. Since we're using the 14-inch wheel that we just took off, we just have to take off the tire, swap it over just the same way we did the rear. With the magic of editing, we will instantly put this tire on like all done. Let's install it. And we can't forget the spacers. Should be a lot easier than the rear one, hopefully. And now, we're ready for a track day. So I hate to leave you like this, but I didn't get a chance to do the track day. When this video is done filming, my air conditioner in my house broke and it's gonna cost me over $10,000 to replace. So my funding is a little bit limited right now to do track days. That doesn't mean I won't have more content coming, so please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and watch what I have coming. I'll see you in the next one.